Joining us right now is South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. He's a member of the Senate Finance and Banking Committees and a bunch of other committees that seem like they're all custom designed to help us recover from what we're dealing with right now with COVID-19. Senator Scott's new book is called Opportunity Knocks, a story of how hope and opportunity can change everything. It's great to see you, Senator Scott, and it's an honor to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Good to be with you. Thank you very much.
First question, what's your take on President Trump and his ability to convene Congress for these recess appointments for his administration?
I think the president is growing more and more frustrated. The fact that he can actually chew gum and walk at the same time. The coronavirus is absolutely essential for us to be victorious, and we are winning that fight. At the same time, the president recognizes the economic tsunami requires a working, functioning, fully attended Federal Reserve Board, and there are a couple of noms he'd like to get through. We need to be doing that right now. The national security apparatus, the lack of a director of national intelligence, is a challenge for this nation. We see folks outside this country looking to take advantage of this situation. He wants to make sure that all of our resources are deployed, and he's ready to fill those jobs. He needs Congress to be in session in order to that happen. So he's looking for ways to get that done. I admire and respect his resolve to make sure that this nation has the resources, the people resources, that it will take to protect our economy and our nation.
Now, I understood you just spoke to him on the phone. The other thing we wanted to talk to you about is how the urban communities and black communities in this country have been disproportionately affected by this type of situation. This ties into your push for these opportunity zones a long time ago. Is enough being done? And again, I know you spoke to the president just a few moments ago. Is enough being done to target these communities and make sure that disparity is corrected?
I think the president has done a really good job. Congress passed legislation, the Phase 3, the CARES Act, included $1 billion for historically black colleges and universities, $10 million to make sure that we were advertising in communities of color, also increased money for food stability, as well as making sure that the healthcare system made the COVID-19 testing free for all Americans. These are strong positions the president and Congress has taken. This is good news. The question really remains, why are African Americans having a higher mortality rate than the general population? It's because of the presence of high blood pressure in African Americans and asthma. These are two comorbidities, according to Dr. Burks, that is high up on the food chain as it relates to compromised immune systems that leads to death. So she said, and she said it very well, African Americans are not more predisposed to the COVID-19. However, because of the comorbidities that exist in a larger number in the African American community, you're seeing a higher incidence of death and hospitalization. CDC says 33% hospitalization from African Americans, while we only represent 13% of the population, that due to the existence of those comorbidities that we just talked about.
Now, before you were in politics, you were in the insurance business. Let's talk a little bit about small businesses. This Paycheck Protection Loan program is running out of money. The $350 billion should be gone by the end of the day. We talked about the Republican efforts to try and put more money into that. Democrats seem to be playing politics with not doing so. What happens when this money runs out, Senator?
Well, John, your timing could not be better and more critical. Thank you for what you do. Here's what the president and Secretary Mnuchin just said. It's gone. The money is been eliminated. $340 billion deployed to businesses, $10 billion going to those financial institutions to help them process these loans. The money's gone. The Democrats are now putting in jeopardy paychecks for working Americans who are struggling from paycheck to paycheck to keep their resources, paying their rent and their mortgage or utilities. It's unconscionable that we're having a discussion about the part of the CARES Act that has without question helped millions of Americans stay employed. And today, right this very second, because of Democrats, we are unable to bring another $250 billion to bear to help people keep their paychecks.
This is really about, pork for Democrats, is it not?
It's about, listen, in Phase 3, the CARES Act, they had $25 million for the Kennedy Center. They had millions upon millions of dollars for arts and science. We can have that debate whether or not those things should be funded. I would certainly not. Here's what we cannot debate. It is not essential. It is not temporary targeted relief for people suffering from the COVID-19. If we stay focused, the Democrats certainly have not done so. If we stay focused on what the American people need, we will provide $250 billion today to fight this coronavirus by helping people have their paychecks.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of those protesters seem to be asking, not directly yesterday, but what is actually essential with the economy right now? Let's talk about your book, Opportunity Knocks. One thing you wrote in there, if I've learned anything from studying our country's efforts to combat poverty in the 20th century, it's that business owners know better than the government how to spend their money, and I designed opportunity zones with that in mind. Talk about your book, and also, I don't know if this is in the book, I haven't had a chance to finish it yet, but I did hear a story about you a while back, and how a Chick-fil-A sandwich in effect basically saved your life and changed your life.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it there, John. Absolutely, thank you. Opportunity Knocks, available wherever books are sold. You can order it right now on Amazon. But here's the lesson from John Moniz, the Chick-fil-A operator. He walks into the theater where I'm working. His sons and I were friends. He slides a Chick-fil-A sandwich across the table, across the concession stand, and he starts having a conversation with me about where I want to go in life. And I thought athletics or entertainment would be the only way for an inner city kid to escape poverty. He starts telling me that that's not the fact. Always have a plan A, but have a backup plan. And he said, for me, think about being an entrepreneur. That's a place where you can create a profit, not just an income. He said, think about creating jobs, not just having jobs. John Moniz in the Chick-fil-A concept truly transformed the way I saw myself, the way I saw my opportunity in this country. And he closed with this, and this is really important, John. He said, anyone from anywhere at any time can rise beyond their wildest imaginations. And as a kid mired in poverty, I couldn't see as far as he could. But because of the vision of that young man, John Moniz, I have been able to live my mother's American dream. I've seen the fortune of my community change, and I hope to be a part of that change agent, that purveyor of hope, based on hard work and the fact that in America, we've all won the lottery.
But, growing up in North Charleston, South Carolina, you can see in Charleston the old slave markets. I'm sure that had an impact on you. You talk about your mom a lot. She sounds like a very tough cookie and a great mom, too.
She was.
Raising three young men into great men in life, something that everybody could be proud of. But, that mentor in your life was critically important because, you did come from a home with a single mother, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't overemphasize the importance of mentors in this nation. I participate in mentoring programs in the past and continue to mentor myself because I was a mentee. So our nation is better because people take the margin in their schedules as well as the margin in their paychecks, and they reinvest in their communities. And small businesses do that better than any other group of business leaders. Small business owners are willing to invest back in their own community with their resources, not just economically, but emotionally. They create a culture that allows for human flourishing. And when that happens, our nation is never going to be denied our #1 position around the globe, not just economically, but as the world-changing agent this world needs today.
Well, let's hope your colleagues on the Hill get that message and get this additional funding passed so these small businesses can get more of this lifeline. We know how many people out there are counting on this money, not just the businesses themselves, but the employees who still need these paychecks. Senator Scott, great to see you. Get the book out. It's available now. Opportunity Knocks, highly recommended. Plenty of time to read these days, right? When you're stuck at home. New questions about these antibody tests as well. You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing news channel, now in 65 million homes. Get Newsmax TV on all the major cable systems or go to newsmaxtv.com and click on the Find Newsmax tab to locate us. Remember, Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.